I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Jumpy and Ghosty and Chip.
Disembodied. I don't know what type of metal this is. I'm assuming it's going to be on the dark side, maybe the black side. I'm not sure. Hopefully I'll hear some tremolo picking, inshallah. This is for the big homie MM. I don't know if he wants to be doxed or not. We've got a
well, we could say Matt.
Pretty complex system of how songs get reviewed.
I'm pretty sure we've already announced his name because he sent in his picture.
Oh, did he? Was he one of the... Okay. Okay. For timely topical political commentary, you can hit us up at Middle America with Vin and Sori. And then if you want to get your song request up to the line, we've got a $75 partner tier. And that's what this was. So this is Disembodied. And the name of the song is Gone. The name of the...
Patrons, don't forget to go on Patreon and check out the video I posted of Orion. It's a bad parenting.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I want to check it out myself.
Poor little guy. All right, ready?
So the name of this song is Gone. The name of the record is If God Only Knew the Rest Were Dead.
Yikes.
Very uplifting album title there. Now I'm extremely interested to hear what this brother has to say. Let's do it!
Go.
Where's mine? This one?
I think so.
Turn it up!
Is it yours?
Yeah, that's mine, that's mine.
No, that's yours.
Not yours?
This one's mine.
Crushing my spirits, crushing my hope. Not one more day, lost in bullshit. You're not around. Not one more out, not one more day, not one more sex. My soul, crushing my heart, crushing my spirit, crushing my hope. Sometimes I wish to go where no one knows me. Sometimes I wish just disappear. Sometimes I think no one would even care. Sometimes I think no one would even notice. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone.
Wow.
That's a tough place to be.
Brutal. Brutal. Yeah, I was expecting kind of some low production black metal here, which I like low production black metal. This one was more, I don't know, death metal maybe?
Yeah, something. I mean, I'm not
Love
sure.
the rising action at the end, the I'm gone part, and then it exploded. That was pretty tight. So I had to switch gears in the song. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, it's not that, it's this. Once I switched gears, I was okay. Tough stuff though. What were you thinking?
I mean, I just know that there's times when, you know, when I felt like this, and I hate being in that place. Although I couldn't relate with the ending, like when he said, sometimes I wish I could go where no one knows me, that is, I felt that before, and sometimes I wish I could just disappear. But sometimes I think no one would even care, sometimes I think no one would even notice that I'm gone. I don't think that, and that's kind of one of the things that when I'm feeling that way, I don't like. Because I'm like, oh, there's too many people that care, I can't do this for that many people. So it's just to write a whole song about it and then to scream it with that much, you know, desperation sounding in there, and then to think that, you know, people listen to this and that's how they feel. I don't know, I don't know. It's sad. It's just sad. Like this, the world is sad, and it's sad that I know that not all of the world is sad. I think I'm just having kind of a depressed day. And I've been sick in bed for days, so I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't like the thought of people feeling like this all around the world, and there are people that are feeling like this and they don't have anybody to talk to about it. And, you know, there are some people who believe it so much that they actually do become gone. And then, you know, the world is not the same without them. And I know that our community is filled with lots of different types of people, and lots of different people that have different, they're at different stages in their life and in different emotional states and stuff. And, you know, I've said it before, I've said it a bunch of times, that I hate that some of our villagers are alone, that somebody's listening to this in their basement, or somebody's listening to this alone in their house with, you know, just their cat. I'm glad that you have your cat, but I want you to have more than just your cat.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
I think. You know, and don't not communicate that to us. When I say it's the hardest thing, it's just, I just feel like we could do a better, I'm talking about the human family now, we could do a better job taking care of each other. Although, the opening line the opening stanza, I can't believe my eyes anymore, I turn around and you're not there. So that either is they lost somebody either via death or via, you know, a breakup or whatever, and they're having a very, very hard time. And yeah, you know, people say things like life goes on, and it's true. Like life, you do go on, but you're, you know, and this is where I feel the most bad for you, is because like if we would have been together like 6 years ago. What is it, 2019? So 2012. If we'd been together 8 years ago, things would have been a lot better. I'd have been a lot less, you know. But so many things happen like back to back in the last 8 years in my life, whether things that I did or things that, you know, people, you know that part of the people that, you know, that I've lost that are pretty important to me, and I'm a different type of person I'm a completely different. I mean, I don't know. I feel like internally I'm a completely different person. So, you know, I felt bad because, you know, there would have been I feel like you'd be a lot you'd be a lot happier if I had that version of me before all that craziness happened, which, you know. But yeah, it's trying to figure out how to go on in life after you lose a person like that is extremely complex.
Yeah.
You know, you feel like you're betraying the person, especially when you lost them the way that I did. You know, it's like constantly going back what you could have did differently in so many different circumstances. Like so many different things where you're like, if I'd have done this or that, or how did I miss this? And so it's I turn, you know, I can't believe my eyes anymore. I turn around, you're not there. Yeah, you know, it's a pretty crazy thing. You know, my mom's birthday had just passed in, you know, November, and it's a crazy thing that she's not around. You know, like, it's weird, man. It's just a weird, crazy feeling. Like, you know, but I don't know. So, like, it just looks like this guy, whatever the loss was, like, he's having a hard time trying to figure out how to do it. And there's like multiple ways to be gone, right? Like, you know, like, I honestly really believe that if there are certain events that triggered certain things in the last 2 or 3 years that I'm extremely thankful for. And when the thing was happening, people were like, yo, fight back, or why aren't you fighting back, or whatever. And I'm like, yo, this is my last shot to get off of this fucking train. Like, people would not let me go. You know, like, so go somewhere where nobody knows me. Like, that was like that period of my life, I was just like so overwhelmed with, I was just like, yo, and the kids were, it was just a wreck and a mess, and people weren't going out of their way to try to help them, say it that way.
No.
Like, you know, you were, obviously, and so obviously that, you know, but
we obviously weren't together at the time.
It was that period of my life, though, was like, I had just been like, yo, something drastic has got to change, and, you know, being intentionally vague, I was trying to get out of a certain situation, could never get out of it, and then the opportunity presented itself. I was like, yes, you know, like, oh my gosh, this is it. Like, I knew, like, I heard, like, this is your shot, man. And if you don't play this, if you play this right.
If you guys knew the situation too, you'd be like, wait, why were you excited about the plane crashing? It's like, the situation was so drastic and so dramatic, but at the same time, it was the only way
it's like
for events to change.
It's literally the only way, because I had said, like, yo, I gotta get off this train, I gotta get off this plane, and they're like, nah, man, things are going so well when you're flying this plane. I'm like, yeah, but yeah, you're kidding, you'll be okay. So it's like, when that whole situation happened, I was like, yeah, thank you, Jesus, literally.
Meanwhile, don't take a lollipop or anything from their kid.
Right. I didn't even think about that. You're right.
Sorry.
You're right. That's hilarious. Yeah, but I was pretty much at the end, but people were sucking the life out of me, man. And then you know, so that was a big one, like, man, and like I couldn't even go to like Walmart. Like, and it's cool. It's different now, because now when people recognize me at Walmart, I know they're recognizing me from the channel, but it's got that kind of like, oh, I don't
You usually have your headphones on and you're on a mission. And
right. Yeah. Whereas my other role, it was like, come talk to me. I will help you. And who cares if I'm getting these Cheerios for my, you know, son who's having like, you know, hallucinations and shit. Who cares? Come on. And I would even say, like, okay, I can't talk right now. Like, I got to take care of it. Please don't, you know. I really said that you can't talk right now. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not mad. You know, like, it was just like one of those situations. So, like, you know, I've been there too. Like, man, And so that was the other reason, like, it like switched from like, you're the center of the world to you're the problem, you're the source of all my problems and I hate you. And I was like, yes, this means they won't talk to me, right?
Which that wasn't the truth.
That wasn't the case either. I know,
Like,
I know.
the most horrible person, but help me with my problem.
Yes, let me message you privately. And I was just like, let me show up at your door.
Yeah.
You weird person. What a weirdo. But like, you know, but I was able to kind of use the conflict as sort of like, hey, I'm not talking to you. You said all that shit to me about me on Facebook. I didn't care. But I was able to use that as an excuse to like, you know, cut the cord with some of these people. God almighty. So it was hard. It was a very, very hard thing. And I was just like, yo, you know.
It was. It's funny. It was hard for us for different reasons. And sometimes I think if we would have had the village back then.
What do you mean?
When all that happened and everybody was
like... Oh
like...
my gosh, they would have came in like stormtroopers, man. They would have...
Oh, yeah.
they would have, yeah. I'm glad for the other people's sake we didn't have the village at the time, because it wouldn't have gone well for them. Because oddly enough, the ragtag group of atheists and LGBT people that we've been around have showed more interest and care in the people of our actual family than the supposed. But you know, a lot of life is about understanding people and understanding where they're coming from. And I don't think that, you know, we might differ on this, but I don't think that people go out of their ways to hurt other people or make other people's lives miserable or suck the life out of them or whatever. I don't think people are like that hostile. I just think that people get socialized a certain way, and it's most of the time you're my fault. And you know, you gotta kinda understand that. So I understand where they're coming from. Like, I'm never gonna speak to a single one of them ever again. But I understand where they're coming from, and I genuinely don't have any ill feelings towards any of them. You know, it's just that, you know, I can't, you know, it's a good clean break, and we're able to use certain circumstances to like, oh yeah, you got your pound of flesh on Facebook, great, now please go on with your miserable life and do your thing. Well, you look like you're going to say something, but not going to say something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that, you know, I do think that you've completely let everything go and that you're completely happy with whatever. I'm still, you know, there are still things that bother me about the situation. And because the situation involved all church people, and well, I think that because of that, I'm able to see more of where people in the village are coming from as far as, you know, being hurt by a group of religious people or whatever. Like, for you were okay. I was really hurt by the actions of a lot of the people.
Well, I think the difference is that I always had a lot of it comes from expectations.
Yeah.
So I knew this person is just jealous. And they're envious, and they've been sitting in that jealousy for whatever. And so there's no way that a person could be that jealous of you and love you at the same time. Like, those two things are mutually exclusive. And you know, it was the same with you. Like, people are always mega jealous of you and mega intimidated by you. And so that, you know, you were not even ever given even an opportunity to be known by it. Even your so-called family or whatever.
No, all that is true. I think that the difference is, I had always, in my life, it was always that way. Like, people were always, there was always like jealousies and different stuff like that happened with people. But at the same time, it never got as toxic as what happened in this situation. So I was used to people being jealous, but I never saw people turn that far. And I think that I feel like I was like, oh my gosh, like I was at a really, really low point. And I was thinking the other night, like, sometimes I wish that I wouldn't think about it anymore. Like, you don't, like, think about it, and it comes back to me, and I wish that I could just let it completely go and stop thinking about it. But I was thinking about how I was talking to those, you know, you'll know who I'm talking about, and I was telling them, they were asking me about a certain situation, and I told them, like, that I was suicidal, and they didn't even care, and they just brushed that aside. And I was thinking about it and I was like, why did I even share that? Like, that is such a deep and a deep thing, like when you're in that state, and like to share that with somebody and have them just brush it to the side like that, like I just regretted even saying anything to them about it, because I actually thought that they were going to care, and the fact that they didn't care was hurtful and is still hurtful. So, yeah. I don't know. But you're fine. You've moved past, but I think that there's still parts of me that's still surprised at how mean people were.
Yeah, I just think that, there's a lot of moving pieces with those particular situations, but this is a person who did that to their own flesh and blood.
Well, yeah.
This is a person who...
Yeah. I know.
In a very horrible circumstance. So to me, it's like, well, did you think that you were going to get treated differently? Then she shared a womb with this person.
I know.
And did that to her own flesh and blood.
And you're completely right, but that doesn't change the emotion of the
right.
whole
So
thing.
to me, everybody pretty much reacted exactly as I thought that they would. And so, you just have to. But that's always been a thing. It's like I've always kind of been like perceptive about, how people are gonna,
You know what? My issue is I'm basically always wrong.
What do you mean?
On my perceptions of people.
Yeah, but I would tell you.
Huh?
I would tell you this stuff beforehand.
I know, but...
I'd say, that person is not... But I always felt bad for you because I always wished that you could have one genuine person who would actually be your friend aside from me. Mm-hmm. That was always a hard thing for me, like, because, but you're so powerful and you're so, all the stuff's on 10, and I just think they can't get past that. In the culture that we were in, like, you couldn't get past that, and you're in a small town, and we're all big fish in a very. So,
I kind of think though, like, I think I'm kind of a weird person to be friends with anyway.
What do you mean?
It's like,
I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, it's kind of
expand that a little bit.
Well, it's kind of similar to not exactly like you, but it's kind of similar to like you. Like, there's something about you that people don't necessarily relate to you as a friend, a human being friend. Like,
right.
They gain something from you. They want something from you. That, you know what I mean? Like, it's very rare that there's, like, I do see actual friendships that you have where it doesn't seem like the person's actually trying to gain off of you. But that's so rare, and so I think I don't even know. I'm 34 years old. I don't even know if I know how to have a friend anymore. Like, I've gone this far, you know what I mean? And I know that 34 is young in comparison to 80, but I don't know if...
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, we've been friends for a decade. You've been a very good friend to me for a decade, so...
Oh, yeah, but now we're married, so then it doesn't count.
I don't think it doesn't count. I just think, I just haven't... you grew up in a very, very small town. Like, if we were in California with Carmen and all the rest of it...
Yeah, but I wasn't very real with you.
You're fine.
All the time.
Nobody's real with anybody all the time. You know what I mean? Like, but I think if we, if we lived in some compound with Carmen and Josh and our village friends, I think you'd be able to have some good friends. I just think it's hard in certain Christian...
I do like being around Carmen, though.
I think it's hard being in certain Christian subcultures to be a genuine friend of anybody because you don't know what to say. Mm-hmm. Because your shit might come up in a prayer meeting.
Right.
Or it might get blasted on, we just saw that whole situation where dudes are like blasting each other on Facebook. Like, these guys are going back and forth.
That's, I think, what's been coming. And that's probably why it's coming back.
In my mind, one of the guys is clearly right, in the right, and the other one's clearly in the wrong. But if it was me, I'd have been like, yo, we're not touching this, man.
No.
Like, and the guy kept saying, this has been going on for years. Like, there have been people that talk shit for years. And I would always say, nope, yeah. pray for him. We're not doing it. We're not going to go blind, like... Hey, dummy! You sent all that shit in text, you idiot. I have it all, but I'm not. But I it's very, very hard to be because what happens is if you were outside of the church and you posted something like that, people are like, yo, what are you doing? Like they said that to you in like confidence.
Oh, I know.
But you're able to put like some frivolous little religious justification for why. So it's very hard to like to be a genuine friend in that, even in that environment to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah.
That's why, you know, and that's always been my rule. That's why I'm not, you know, I'm never gonna, you know, I was never gonna do that. It is kind of crazy. Like I'm gonna hold atheist standards here to to that type of situation. I'm not gonna come up with some spiritual reason to justify betraying somebody's trust. So I think there's a lot of really hard. You know, that book, A Separate Piece, you should really read it because, like, the entire undercurrent of the book is about this guy's jealousy of his best friend and the impossibility of, like, really being friends with somebody that you're perpetually jealous of. And so, like, you know, it's just one of those situations where, you know, I think in our current community, we've got people who they love us for who we are and we love them for who they are, and everybody kind of like we're all cool with it. Like it's, you know, we don't have to have the thing, but you know, small town church environments are extremely toxic. But yeah, I'm looking at that other situation because I know what you're talking about, and I'm just like, I'm looking at the guy who I believe is in the right, and I'm like, yo, bro, like you didn't have, the guy shot a 3-hour video, like why? Do you honestly believe that the people on the other side are gonna actually like reasonably listen to you? Like they hate you, and they already said I am jealous of you. And the crazy thing is I've had people who are on the side of righteousness before saying I am jealous of you. Like they're not, that's it, they hate you, they're gonna want to whatever and all the rest of it. Like, that's just period. Cain and Abel. Like, you know, if they could kill you, they would. They would. So, anyway, this has nothing to do with anything, but I like the song. The song is probably about losing somebody that you love and wanting to disappear. All I could say is keep your head up. I think the moral of the story is, yep, you can have one of those terrible situations happen to you. You can lose everything. You can lose a person. You can lose a community. The moral of the story is if you keep going, you will eventually find your clan.
Yeah.
Clan, gang.
Well, I think too, I'm going to say one more thing is in the Bible it talks about that if you have a problem with someone, you're supposed to go to that person and talk it out with that person. You're not supposed to talk to everybody else around you, and I think that's a big thing, like, you know, that's very, very destructive in a lot of churches. There's so much gossip and not people just going.
We got social media now, man.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. All right, so what is it for you?
It's 9.2 for me.
Whoa, I'm going to go with an 8.7.
All right, look at this. All these people just got shot up in Florida. What does CNN have? Trump's taxes as the headline. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.